was gonna say it's recording anyway.
Well, I'm not ready yet.
Can't.
You can't rush. You can't rush perfection, Amanda.
I know, that's why I'm rushing you. I don't know how that affects you, but okay.
That's a good point.
If you guys can hear
a symphony
snarfling in the background.
Yeah, it is a lot.
We've been joined by a dog that goes by the name of Iggy.
There's not a dog in this house. There is a baked potato with legs.
That sounds like a piggy.
I hope... Iggy. I hope... Is he a boy or a girl?
Iggy's a girl.
I hope Iggy... Oh my god, the snorting.
Girl energy only in our house.
Yeah.
Oh, here she come in.
I hope she walks in the frame.
She
Holy
is
hell.
Like...
Watching her go down the stairs. Oh, yeah. Iggy, come
here.
here.
You can't see her. Iggy, come back here.
Iggy, come here. Look at this thing. Is she picking? Is she pick
Yes,
upable?
she'll just like go
Iggy,
like this though.
Come here. Oh, she's scared. She's camera shy.
I'll get a shot of her later.
Oh my god. Yeah, that needs to be the Instagram post.
I'm going to insert a video right here of a video that I took of Iggy taking a nap today.
She just
snoring so loudly.
She just doesn't have a neck.
No.
It's just like body, and then it slopes slightly into a head. It's phenomenal. Oh my god.
She's a little baby. She's a little old lady.
She looks like a cicada.
Oh, no neck.
Yeah.
Hi, sweet baby.
Okay. Let's get into it, because
she's like, this is usually where she sits on the couch, and she's looking at me like, "There's stuff."
Iggy, I will clear a spot for you.
Pick up that blanket off that cushion over there. That's her blanket.
The which one?
On the floor. If you put it there next to you, she'll jump up on the thing.
Oh my god!
Give me the cheese curd. Take it down.
Oh, she's. Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
She's her tail is just slightly wagging.
Is she in the frame?
I think so.
I can't see. She is just lightly grunting over here. Oh. Hey, sweet girl. She looks a little nervous. Her tail's wagging.
Yeah,
but
she always looks nervous. She always looks anxious, and her eyes are so big that I'm convinced she can see like 270. You know what I mean? Where she can just see just a little bit past.
She's like a chameleon.
Where her skull. Yeah. And she gets anxious, but she's also very excitable and very happy.
She stops wagging when I get my hand off her, but the second I touch her, she
starts
wagging. It's a happy little potato.
Iggy piggy.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Pyramid. Guys, gals, non-binary pals. My name is Amanda, and I'm your host every single freaking week, except for the weeks that I'm not.
And I'm Eli, the participation trophy co-host.
Slay.
If you're listening to this on like higher than normal speed, that was so fast.
The episodes, I remember the first episode that Jake was on, I made the disclaimer of like, you did not just accidentally hit 1.25 speed. Jake just talks that fast.
He just rapid fire.
Yeah, he just is that way.
I had this argument with a guy I work with that when you listen to podcasts on faster speed, he was like, "Oh, it makes the pitch go higher." I was like, "No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
You're thinking of analog, because literally the speed of the needle going on a record or whatever makes the speed up." And he and a couple other people were like, "No, if you do that, the pitch is higher." I was like,
it's not.
"No, it's not. The
Because
gap
it's
between sounds is just shorter."
Right.
It's not sound waves moving faster or anything like that.
Right.
It's not the wavelength decreasing. Right. I felt like I was taking crazy pills.
Okay, you were the second straight man to say that to me this week about an unrelated thing. But I think that Will Ferrell reference is coming back. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? It's Will Ferrell. He's playing like some evil villain guy, and he says, "I feel like I'm taking crazy pills."
Was that Zoolander, maybe?
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway,
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Eli and I just saw each other like 2 days ago. We're recording this super early because I'm going to a concert next week.
Get
and
butt scratches.
I don't have time to be bothered to record any day that's not today.
You got stuff going on. We were late this past week. We're super early this week, so we're just.
I'll publish this on the same day, but I'm going out of town this weekend, so we're not going to have time to record before like 10 minutes before this like in theory would go up on the internet. So we're just going to do it super early.
Dope.
So we're not, I mean, we could talk about like one-off pyramid of life things.
I have 2 things.
Okay, but like I don't have a fully stacked pyramid, so sorry. Because I just saw you, so I haven't had a week's worth of experiences to reflect upon in order to create the pyramid of life.
The pyramid's not fully stacked, but you and I are. Yep.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, the bottom of my pyramid is my Instagram algorithm right now for Reels.
You've said this before, but it was the porn bots last time. It was like those Russian spam account bots last time.
They were just like liking one of my posts and then trying to like DM slide or follow or whatever. This is when I'm scrolling Reels. It's just so many things I have no interest in, and it's like, this is such a minor gripe.
Instagram Reels, Grandpa.
Well, irregardless is what.
Irregardless, oh no.
Regardless of which platform I'm on, it is not giving me content that I want to, and I don't know what it is because my like Reels specifically have been so like intentional. I've been so intent. Like I will hit like not interested and like or whatever
You're building
else.
That page. Brick by
it is
brick.
for me.
Yeah.
It is a for Eli page. And recently I've just been like last night I was laying in bed and there was a good like 10-minute span. I didn't stay on a reel for more than like a couple seconds because I was like, no, over. And I feel like I was going insane. Yeah, I was like, what is happening right now? Stop this.
What kind of content are you interested in
I'm so glad you asked. I want stand-up comedy. I have
to set my timer.
Feel-good sports moments.
Oh, yeah.
And anything about animals. That is what I really like.
That seems fair.
And it was like almost none of that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Feel good sports moments.
Yep. Animal stuff,
stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
That seems like pretty saturated corners. Like I feel like that content exists in abundance.
I would agree. And I was seeing like none of it for like a week or more.
That's really annoying. When I'm on TikTok, because I'm not on Instagram, I usually look for not get ready with me, but the like day in my life mini vlog stuff. Especially, I love those, especially from corporate girls. They're not like really talking. It's more of like a time-stamped day because I like seeing that like my life is not boring as shit. Like, this is how most people live their lives.
Oh, sure.
They get ready with me to go to a movie premiere. I hate that. Like, personally, that's not what I'm interested in. But there's a creator on TikTok named Rose, and she works somewhere in downtown LA, and she makes, like, matcha every morning, and she walks her dogs after work, and she's, like, realistic day in my life with timestamps. And, like, I like that kind of content. Or, like, fashion. What else? That's, like, kind of it. It's, like, relatable girl content. I'm not really looking for anything else. So that's weird that your algorithm is so busted, because the stuff that you're interested in is, like, very much readily available to you.
I thought so, too.
Damn, that sucks. The only thing I wanted to... Oh, wait, what was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
The top of my pyramid is this thing. Is this dog right here. Oh, and actually I've had 2 brand new dog interactions. It was this one. And then as I parked my car in your parking lot, this little this like gray-blue pitty puppy came up to me. And her name was, oh God, what was her name? There's this dude, he was like, she's going to want to say hi. I was like, yes, please.
Hell yeah,
yes.
dude, bring it on.
And she came over and she was wiggling herself around, wagging her little tail. And it was just very cute. So I've had 2 new dog interactions within like 10 minutes, and they've both been great.
Rachel has one of those like thrower things for Iggy, where she'll like throw one of those things.
Claw thing.
Yeah, and they like used to do it before Rachel lived at the apartment that she lived in before she moved in with me. They used to do that like fetch thing all the time. And they went outside today for like maybe 2 minutes, and they came back in, and Rachel's like, we have to bump up Iggy's conditioning. She was like, I threw it twice, and Iggy was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Dude, that's how Otis is.
But also, Iggy's 12. Iggy's an old lady, so she's not really into fetch like that. You know what I mean? Not anymore.
Well, Otis would always go and get the ball like twice, maybe like, 3 times.
Okay, so we're doing this for you.
Yes.
He's like, I don't want to.
He thinks this is a game that I want to play.
Right.
He's like, all right, I'll humor you for a minute, I guess.
Yeah, and then I'm over it. The only thing I want to talk about is I'm going to see Remy Wolf this weekend in Atlanta with a bestie, and I'm very excited. Remy Wolf I used to not be able to listen to her without getting sad, because the micro-influencer who cyberbullied me a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
She really liked Remy Wolf, and so anytime, it just was like, this makes me think of this person. But then I was like, that's stupid. And then I also met other people who like Remy Wolf, and so, like, I kind of got over that, you know, of like, oh, actually, this reminds me of my friend Paul and Rachel and Austin and, like, people that I, like, actively love now. So it's, like, replaced all of that. And she had her sold-out concert, or her concert here sold out, and then she released an album. And I didn't buy tickets because I had not heard the album. And I was like, I don't want to buy a ticket if your album's ass. But it sold out before the album released, and then the album came out, and I was like, oh my God, it's the album that Soup is on. And which is a song I talked about a couple weeks ago that, like, makes me feel happy to be alive, because it's like, what a joy to exist in a time when I get to hear this person's art as it comes out.
When I get to eat soup.
Yeah. It's such a cute song. And the whole album as, like, a body of work is very good. And then her first album is kind of the same way. And so I was like, okay, that's annoying, but, like, whatever. And then Austin was like, I don't know, like, maybe we could go to the Atlanta show. And I was like, oh, that's so much. Like, that's driving. But then I saw some footage of the concert from another city, and I saw a picture of her merch. And I was, like, genuinely pissed that we're not going to get to go here. And I texted Austin, and I was like, do you still want to? And Bestie Faith moved to Atlanta.
Yeah, she did.
And which she had not done that when the Nashville concert sold out. So I was like, we're staying at Faith's house that night. Faith said that's fine.
Did she buy a house down there, or is she renting?
No, she's renting an apartment. Okay. And then Austin and I was like, listen, girl, we're going. And he was like, all right, sounds good. And we both put in vacation requests for the next day.
Bang.
And yeah, so I'm so excited about that. It's going to be so much fucking fun.
That's going to be fun for sure.
Okay, you would ready to talk about the content of this episode since we don't really have a pyramid?
Yeah, dog.
I would like to look straight into the barrel of this camera when I say this. Audience, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Eli and I are two regular ass bitches. Ass bitches. We are not journalists. We do not work for NPR. This is not Serial. I am not Sarah Koenig. I understand that there's additional content for these choreographer cuts episodes that's, like, exists on the internet, and I don't give a shit. The only time we've ever had to block someone in the DMs for spitting vitriolic hate was when this person was mad that we weren't chasing after the additional choreographer's cut stuff. This person was like, it was, like, so fucking mean.
They also forgot what punctuation was.
They also called me a fat freak, and I was like, and what about it? Both of those things are accurate. Be more creative.
And frankly, compliments.
And like, what do you mean? Like, duh. Anyway, there was someone else in our YouTube comments who was like, look up more information. You guys are not well read, blah, blah, blah. And then we got a hate comment a long time ago about how we don't listen to Back to the Bar in the reviews on Apple Podcasts. Me and my BFF watch Hulu and talk about it online. That's it. I can appreciate the desire for a deep dive. I also love journalistic podcasts. Baby, this is not what this is. Yeah. We are not doing journalism. I'm watching Hulu for 45 minutes and talking about it with my bro on the internet. That's it. But to, like, supplement that yes, and my own sentiment, if we miss something that stands out, send me an email. Don't be fucking mean to me on Instagram.
Yeah, you can be, like,
just
helpful.
Send me an email and say, hey, here's the link to a crazy ass fight that happened between Kelly and Christy. Just, like, be helpful. Don't be mad. Be helpful.
Yeah, there are several people that write it. Like, Tony is a great example of this. Yeah. He's just like, hey, FYI, here's some additional context that you guys might find interesting. Like, that's, shout out to King Tony. Yeah. That is, like, the right way to do that. Yeah. Like, hey, I know what your podcast is. Here's some additional things you might find interesting. Bring it up if you want to, if you just want to read this and ingest it, and that's it.
Right.
That's also great.
Right.
That's what we're doing. We're just here to, like, exactly like you said, like, watch it, talk about it for a second, yuck, have some yucks or whatever.
But, like, you'll notice, like, the meta tags of this podcast, this is tagged under arts, entertainment, and comedy. It's not tagged under journalism, girl. It's not tagged under, like, documentary bullshit. This is just for fun. I know that there's shit that I missed. I have a 9 to 5 and a regular social life, and this is a bonus. And so does Eli. I don't have time to be snooping around on the internet looking for bonus content from a show that went off the air 10 years ago, Diva.
But again, to
send
reiterate,
it to me if you know where it is. Send it to me.
Yes, to reiterate, if like that's your jam, that's dope.
That's great.
But like,
that's not what this is.
That's not what this is.
No. I love that for you. Do the deep dive.
I love that for you.
I love that for you. I am a fucking freak about a lot of different things. I do Oh my God. I just thought, I said fucking freak, and I thought about a thirst edit I have to show you later of Hassan Piker. Because I looked that up one time, and my FYP is going crazy. Anyway,
Sploosh.
So true. In terms of like other topics, I also love a deep dive on like cult stuff, or on like the one of my niche interests is the Mars Hill Church, which was a mega church that was pastored by Mark Driscoll, and it toppled because he fucking sucks. And I like to listen and read articles and stuff about that church because that's interesting to me. I get that people have niche interests and hyperfixations, and I love that for you. If Dance Moms is one of yours, that's awesome. JB Morrissey, bestie of the podcast, this is her goon. She loves doing research. She loves gathering facts. That's not what this is. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying
not at all.
I am, in fact, however, saying you're stupid if you're bullying people for not liking the thing you like. That's fucking crazy, actually. So don't be mean. But if you find a YouTube, like someone did this, they took a screenshot of something that was happening in the background that we just didn't catch. And they're like, oh, you guys forgot to mention this, but here's this thing. Took a screenshot, put it in the email. I was like, LOL, that's amazing. Read on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
But this like deep dive shit, that's not what this is. Love that for you. Go find it somewhere else. Stop listening to this if you don't like it. But that's not what this is.
Yeah, just download the episodes. Don't listen.
Yeah.
So we still get that.
Yeah. But don't be fucking mean about it. That's embarrassing. For you to leave a hate comment and be super fucking mean to someone in their DMs is embarrassing to you, not us. Okay, anyway, this episode is, what is it? Season 4, episode 5, No One is Safe. Which,
that should be the title of the show.
That should be the title of our podcast. That's the subtitle for like a retrospective of all the men that I know in my life.
Safe.
No one is safe.
It's also a warning to all the billionaires out there.
Yeah, Eli's coming for your gig. Coming for your neck. Actually,
I had a couple of people listen to the podcast and hit me up because of it.
In your DMs or in our DMs?
In my DMs.
And they were like, "Fuck yeah, brother."
Yeah,
one of them, like, "Hell yeah, comrade."
A long-time listener. I don't think I should say her name. I don't know if she's written in or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
She probably has, but she's a long-time listener and has like engaged with me a few times. If you know who you are, actually, you are a very creative person and have a business being a creative person. And if you are okay with a shout out on the podcast, we would love to give that to you. True. But if not, we're not going to bring any unnecessary traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know who you are.
True. Love the billionaire hate on the pod.
Yes.
Slay.
Big fan.
Mega slay.
Season 4, episode 5, No One is Safe.
We start off.
My just texted me. Yes. We talk about the open auditions. Oh, this is from last week. Sorry, the previously on. Open auditions, duh. Peyton gets kicked off, duh.
So fast.
It's like nothing. It's just Abby reiterating once again how no one is safe. And the tension to me of like the open audition thing is dying so swiftly because like replace girls or don't. But we've been talking about it for the last 5 episodes and nothing's happened.
Well, she had the open audition last time, and she says in this pyramid, to get ahead of ourselves a little bit, she says, like, I had this audition, brought in a ton of girls, and they could be their own competition team. And all the girls are kind of staying there like, yeah, okay. But they're not, though.
They're not here.
And, yeah, they're not
Orlando.
Here. You just kind of talked to them and then threatened us, and nothing happens. Like, why should we believe anything you're saying?
Why should we believe you this time? Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Okay, this time we're in the mirror room in Pennsylvania.
Abby's screaming, let's go.
She said that we beat the Wicked Witch last week. They were the highest scoring routine of the day. But don't worry, she still wants to destroy the team.
Yes.
Even though they're killing it, that's not good enough anymore. She still wants to make changes. We're having another audition this week, and she says she wants to replace everyone, including Maddie.
And Maddie's just like, the hell did I do?
Yeah, now Maddie's under the bus. And also, as a side note, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Because you've been saying all this time that she is the one that you don't want to replace. And in this episode, we will hear you say, not Maddie.
Yeah.
So a one-off comment that leads to nothing, like so many of her comments.
So dumb.
Let's see. Sorry, my brother-in-law is like blowing up the group chat.
That's okay.
Do not disturb. Okay, there we go.
In the pyramid room, Abby mentions that we are going to have our second round of auditions in Atlanta.
Woohoo, ATL.
Yeah,
Talk to
I
him.
made a note that Holly offered to help
with the auditions, and that was so bizarre.
That was very bold.
She
was an
never does that.
She said she was a director of admissions for 12 years. And so she's like, oh, I can like offer some assistance on like who to admit to things and, you know, like
she's good
a
at
recruiting
vetting.
process and vetting and stuff like that. Which we're going to come back to, like, why would you do that later? But then Abby is like, actually, yeah, I'm going to take you up on that. And then she says, Maddie and Mackenzie, do you want to go too? And they both are like, yes.
Melissa mentioned, she's like,
Are Maddie and Mackenzie going to get to do it? Because she sees another mom gaining ground
I
on her.
missed that she
yeah, Melissa was the
up.
one that asked. Well, first Holly kind of mentioned, she's like, I kind of also want to keep an eye on Abby.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, I'm kind of going because I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, and then
what's
Melissa,
the tea?
Yeah, Melissa is like, are Maddie and Mackenzie also gonna help out again? Do you want that?
And
do you want that, Lord Queen? My God, Abby.
And then Abby's like, Maddie and Mackenzie, do you want to go and sell merch?
And they're like, I fucking
they're like,
guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's like, great. So she's doing child exploitation once again.
Hooray!
The pyramid of children. The bottom, the worst child is Kendall.
We knew that already.
I mean, yeah. Abby says she was the only person on the team who didn't get a first place. So she's at the bottom.
Brutal.
That's brutal. To be at the bottom of the pyramid because you got second is
Yeah.
not even in the middle. But, like, you are the worst kid because you got second is, like, such a mind fuck. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Brooke is the next one.
Because she did
A bad trick. She did a round off too close to the ground.
Yeah. She's like, your jump could have been higher.
Or like a too close to the ground off.
Okay. I was also thinking...
I like how you went through like three different
like-
options of how to react to that.
Okay, sure. Also, I've clipped that bit from last week about the ALD's nuts.
Yeah.
And I sent that video to you as I was editing it. I've watched that video like 4 times. And I sent it to you like the day before yesterday. Because it's so funny to me. It really...
It's like...
That moment really made me giggle.
ALD's nuts.
These nuts.
It's like,
Like,
should I?
and the description of the episodes in on Spotify and on YouTube says Amanda would like to formally apologize for the D's nuts jokes, and then in parentheses, although they're really funny.
Yeah, obviously.
So,
Sorry, but not sorry.
sorry, but D's nuts. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. I have to restart the camera. Hang on. Yeah, Brooke did not jump high enough. Abby says jump. Brooke says how high. Abby says it's this high. And then she says, just kidding, it's not that high. Be
Even
higher. Okay. Paige is next. She needs to have better posture.
So, here is some actual decent feedback because Paige ends up being a literal model.
True.
And so having to walk with like perfect posture is something that has served her incredibly well.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is
also
probably,
good posture for a tween is a good thing to...
yeah, it's just a good thing
to
anyway.
mention, yeah.
Especially a lot of times
As I sit like a
teenager,
gargoyle on my
well,
couch.
especially girls.
Yeah.
Girl goyles.
Yes.
Oftentimes like being a tall woman or tall girl is like a bad thing they
Right.
think or people think or whatever.
So they hunch.
And so a lot of times like they will kind of hunch their shoulders over and try and make themselves shorter. Like,
No,
no,
girl.
girls, stand up, be tall.
Be tall.
That's dope. Dunk on the men that are trying to make fun of you.
Yeah, physically and emotionally dunk on them.
Verbally.
Yeah. Mackenzie is next, and we get another posture-related comment where Abby says that her stomach sticks
belly's-
out too much, which
Well,
I
it's ju-
hate.
It's an indication. Abby could say this better anatomically, and Mackenzie is like sinking into her hips,
Yeah,
which
she's
forces
getting
her
sway back.
It's forcing her shoulders
Right.
go back and her belly, her like spine goes forward,
Right.
Which puts her. So she's not saying that Mackenzie has a big belly, but it comes across that way.
It's still icky. The middle of the pyramid, the next one is Nia. Great. Nia's not on the bottom of the pyramid. Slay.
Moving on up.
She like got into character and it like performed well.
Hell yeah.
Love. The next one is Maddie, and I was shocked Maddie was there.
I have 3 question marks
I
after
have in
Maddie's
all caps,
name.
whoa,
Yeah.
after Maddie's name. Because she just, like, did the damn thing.
Abby says you're outstanding in the group. You, like, corrected everyone and held everyone accountable. I was like, isn't that what you want from her?
Yeah, she's like, you're a leader, you're...
My absolute favorite, and I love you.
Yeah, the Drag Race fans in our comments will understand. You're amazing, you're a model, you look like Linda Evangelista, but it's still not good enough. And then at the top of the pyramid is Chloe.
Well, I guess that...
Because Chloe won.
Yeah, that Abby
And that's the power of Miley Cyrus. And I know that's fucking right. I know that is fucking right. You pretend to be Miley Cyrus, you dance your butt off to a diet cover of Wrecking Ball, kind of royalty-free Wrecking Ball. You look awesome. You channel Miley Cyrus, and you win first place. Duh, obviously.
Yeah, Maddie's just second place so that Chloe can be first.
Right.
That's really all it is.
Power of Miley Cyrus. This week we're going to Masters of Dance Arts competition in Atlanta, where we're also doing open auditions.
Hotlanta.
And we're doing, like, here's the breakdown of all the dances. There's a trio this week that's about the good old South. With Paige, Kendall, and Chloe. Jill makes a comment about how even though Kendall was at the bottom, she is still in the trio. Jill, I don't think that's a flex. That's suspicious. You know what I mean? Like, your daughter, if she's on the bottom... Nia, when was the last time Nia had anything, like, fun or interesting about her? She's been on the bottom historically almost every week. Brooke, same thing. So, like, you being like, even though Kendall's on the bottom, she still gets... I don't think that's good. I think that is suspicious.
Well, Jill's thing is always like, I want Kendall to have special parts. And so, like, anytime she's in something that... I know. Anytime she isn't in something that's, like, just the group, Jill considers that a win. It doesn't matter what the situation is, really.
True. But it's just weird. Like, it's not a flex. I think Abby is picking on your daughter.
I don't think she's picking on her.
Because she's making her an exception to the rule that everyone else has to follow.
I don't think she's picking on her. I think it's just, like, those are, like, the 3 that look like they would be, like, Southern.
It's still suspect to me. We get solos this week. The solos are going to Maddie and Mackenzie.
Classic.
Maddie is doing a ballet solo. And Mackenzie is lip syncing. She's basically doing drag.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Lip sync category. Did not know that was category is. Did not know. But okay.
Is this a category that, like, Brooke could enter into? Because we just had that dance a couple weeks ago
she was like pretend to be singing when they were pinups.
Yeah,
and she was like lip sync.
Is this a way she can actually compete?
I don't know. I had never heard of this before. This competition. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
And then Abby says, I have big plans for her future. That scares me.
I am so worried by that.
So then we get to the group, the grand reveal of the group number. I have in my notes.
Did you see my text earlier?
Yes, you did. I did. And I was like, oh God, dear Lord, please. I have in all caps, please don't be about slavery. Please, 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 please don't be about slavery.
And you say that because Abby mentions that the group is going to be educational and historical.
And about the South.
Because we're going to Atlanta. It's going to be educational and historical. Dude, every muscle in my body tensed up.
Clenched.
The most clenched my butthole has ever been.
Yeah.
And she says, it's about to be about the civil rights movements. And I went, oh God.
And I texted you immediately.
I texted
it's
you
like
so fast.
It's just a hair away from Nia's going to be portraying a slave.
Well, wait for it.
We're like almost there. But instead we get this like... civil rights, Nia's fighting for her freedom.
Yeah.
They're not saying it.
She has dirt on her face.
It doesn't look good.
Everyone's wearing white.
Also, she keeps saying, like, this needs to be an Oscar-worthy performance. I'm wondering if they were basing this dance number on a movie that won an Oscar and they just couldn't say it because of copyright reasons.
Maybe.
Because she keeps saying, you know, a role that would win an Oscar-winning performance, an Oscar-winning number... So I'm wondering if it's based on a movie that won an Oscar.
Well,
and they just can't say which one it is.
I wonder if there was a movie that came out around that time. You're obsessed with the 2010s.
I know. I was thinking about it today, but I don't.
I wonder what movie came out around then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Listener and viewer, if you know what movie this was supposed to be
write in.
We're
standing by.
We're standing by to take your call. Holly, when Abby announces the dance, Holly looks so nervous.
Oh.
And then Abby's like, this dance will be featuring Nia, and she makes some comments that like could have been a lot worse about like race and representation, blah blah. Holly in her talking head says, "I hope that Abby treats the subject matter with dignity and respect, and with no sensationalism." And I was just like, "Good fucking luck with that."
Have you met
Holly.
Abby, maybe, or no? Is this the first time you ever met this woman?
Insane.
It's this whole episode, we're like standing on ice and you can hear the ice cracking. But the ice doesn't break, spoiler alert, but like it is cracking all around. You're out in the middle of the pond and you hear the ice starting to crack. It's very, very tense. Abby also says this is going to be controversial, which also made me worried because there's only one opinion about the civil rights movement. It's not controversial. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're a white supremacist,
which is an opinion.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Is like, this should not be a controversial. We're not talking about like, I don't know, something that's legitimately controversial. Civil rights, like, period. I don't know. It really made me nervous when she said controversial. I was like, what are you going to do? Are you going to deny her freedom? Like, I'm so stressed.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was awful.
I was very worried.
Anyway, the moms like go upstairs. Abby's like talking to the Lido deck. The Lido deck, yes. And Christy is like, "Hey, Holly, girl, what the fuck are we doing?" She's like, "I got some questions for you. Number one, what are we doing? Because you're volunteering to go help Abby with admissions, which is crazy. And when Abby mentioned that this was going to be a dance about the civil rights movement, you were like, sounds good."
You didn't say a word.
So, like, what's going on? What are we doing here?
Are you doing this because you're trying to suck up to Abby because you think Nia's
spot's in danger?
Yeah. And Holly says, like...
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes. She says, in her talking head specifically, like, Nia's really excited about this, and I don't want to take this away from my daughter if she's excited. I want to try to let her enjoy this.
Perfect.
And Holly says that she hopes that Abby doesn't cross the line. And Chrissy says, Abby was born over the line. Like, have you met this woman? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
And then Holly says the thing about, like, I just want Nia to have a nice time. I want her to enjoy this thing that she believes to be very important.
Yeah.
Cautiously optimistic.
Well, she's mentioned, like, Nia's black experience.
Yes.
She's like, when it was about the Laquifa thing, she brings up Laquifa again here, and she's like, "Listen, however Nia wants to like experience her own blackness, I love that for her."
Yeah.
So there is that. She's like, I hope that Abby just doesn't make her do some crazy shit.
And Abby has said crazy shit before.
Oh yeah.
So like, maybe this is Abby's effort in countering all the bad things she said before.
No, Abby has no shame.
But Abby doesn't give two flying fucks.
Doesn't give one
about someone's feelings. So I don't know. I'm just nervous. Okay. Anyway, we see Maddie's solo rehearsal. They bring in a ballet instructor because there was this whole kerfuffle semi-recently about how they don't do enough ballet lessons. And they're like, we don't do ballet. It's like ballet and hip-hop. It's like what they like fully do not do at the studio. But then they bring in a ballet instructor who's like actually seems like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And Christy once again smells a stunt. And she's like, it's really interesting that Maddie immediately knew the first minute and 30 seconds of this dance.
Yeah.
And Melissa's like, well, she has like one ballet private a week. And they're like, that is she knows way more.
Yeah, one a week.
What a week would have taught her, yeah.
Yeah, well, Melissa initially is like, wow, this ballet solo is going to be a lot. And Kelly's like, isn't she getting like a lot of ballet privates? And Mel's like, yeah, one a week. And Christy goes, yeah, but that one is like an hour and a half every week.
Yeah, and there's no way it's only one. Like, so then the B plot of this episode is to homeschool or to not homeschool.
Yeah.
And this is when we get this big, long conversation where last week we heard Abby say to Maddie, like, I'm so proud of you for giving up all your friends and for being at the studio every day. She says every day at 9 a.m. Melissa is now, in this moment, alleging that Maddie does homeschooling in the morning.
And then shows up at 1.
At 1. But that's not the truth, Ellen. There's no way that's true. So
Not at all.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Abby.
And then I do too, because Abby would have no reason to lie about that, because Melissa, what's the reason to why would she lie about that?
Melissa has every reason to lie.
Yeah, exactly. Because Melissa's the one who looks like a fool.
She's the fucking slimiest person on the show.
And I'm not here to tell anyone what to do with their kids, but
I am.
Obviously, as a former public school educator, I'm not a big fan of homeschooling.
No.
I'm a big fan of the public service of public education.
Also, to say that some parent, can do a better job of educating your child than licensed and trained teachers is fucking arrogant.
Yeah, I know every case is different and whatever, but I don't know. And we hear from almost every other kid on the team and almost every other mom, my child being in public school is what keeps them normal.
Yep.
And Chloe says at one point, we'll get to it when we get to it, but this is the beginning of this long B plot about homeschooling or not homeschooling.
Yeah, Kelly basically outright said, Melissa says, my kids are homeschooled and they're getting more opportunities to dance. And then in her talking head, she's like, and the other moms can just suck it, basically. And Kelly out loud just goes, Melissa, that's kind of dumb. I don't agree with that at all.
Love.
And then we get a commercial.
I love that. When we come, also, I'm sorry.
What is happening?
Everything's fine. I'm so sorry, dear listener. This audio interface is different from the one that I had that I fried on accident, and I still don't understand how it works totally. So I'm sorry if I just made everything really difficult for your listening experience.
Look at that leg.
Oh, you get a little icky. Look at her little tail.
I know.
It's not even a full corkscrew.
I'm just gonna pat her little booty the whole time.
She's gonna start snoring probably.
She was actually. I could hear her.
She's a sweet baby.
Oh. Now, this
Crying
is an
forever.
Iggy Stan podcast.
This is an Iggy Stan podcast. Iggy.
Sorry, Addison. You've been bumped for a baked potato.
She's so cute. Okay.
Little munchkin.
Yeah, commercial, and then we come back from a commercial.
For the trio.
Paige, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see what Paige is wearing on her wrists? She's wearing she's wearing ankle weights on her wrists, like what my mom used to wear when she would do step aerobics and Tai Bo at our house.
I didn't notice that at all.
Which I don't know whose idea it was to put her in these weights, but she's dancing with a stack. She's fully doing her thing. And I thought that was just interesting. I mean, if she needs to get her muscle up, she needs to get her muscle up.
She's trying to build them delts, dog.
I guess no one makes a comment about it. No one's like, "You're so fucking weak." It's not that. I just was like, "Are those Tai Bo wrist weights?" And I think they were. The moms are upstairs. They talk about Abby not being the perfect image of a Southern belle, and this really gross thing that happened where she sneezed and her boogers went everywhere, and it was really annoying. The story legitimately made my stomach hurt. I was like, I can't listen to this. It really bothered me.
It's that's why I think babies and toddlers specifically are so gross. Because they do stuff, they just sneeze and snot just goes everywhere.
Everywhere.
And they don't have the social awareness to be I should clean this up and wash my hands and stuff. It just happens and I'm just going to continue through life now.
Ugh, gross. Yeah, they tell that story about Abby and
yeah, but Abby's an adult.
Whew, it made my stomach turn. Now we're 3 days off from the competition. We're seeing Mackenzie's solo rehearsal.
Well, back to the trio. There was a funny comment that Abby made where she's like, all right, you girls are Southern belles. You're going to be the opposite of your mothers. That means no trashiness, no foul language, no arguing with teachers, no talking behind other people's backs, and no blatant public intoxication.
I'm like, all right, listen. I don't know if you've ever been to the South. Eli and I live right outside of a city that thrives and makes cash money off of public intoxication.
They encourage it.
It's a thing. So that's not really true. Also, she really ate up Christy with that one because Christy was drunk as fuck in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coincidentally in the South.
Mackenzie's solo rehearsal. Melissa is geeking out. She thinks it's so cute and so fun. And Holly says, what does she say? It's unbelievable. She says, Abby really has a soft spot for Mackenzie. It's unbelievable. I'm like, keep talking, Holly. Where's that comment headed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where were you going with that, girl?
Well, because I also...
Because she's right, but, like, speak on it.
Well, she sometimes gets after Mackenzie because she wants her to be Maddie.
True,
but
there are other times that she, like, hugs her and coddles her
yeah.
and, like, knows that she's the baby. So I'm wondering if Holly made that comment based on stuff that we don't see.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Holly does tend to observe well.
She drinks tea and is educated.
Yeah.
That's her whole thing.
The lip sync solo is also called Love Overdose, and I was like,
Fucking Abby's going to do like an Amy Winehouse reference.
Oh, yeah, something so annoying.
Something.
Have you heard about the Neil Patrick Harris Amy Winehouse cake?
Yes.
You told me about it on this year podcast, actually.
I love telling people about that. I'm like, this y'all's king. You need to stop standing this man. He's insane.
That's insane.
Look that up. Anyway, actually it was an Amy Winehouse charcuterie board, which makes it even worse. Leave it to the gays to do something distasteful as a charcuterie board. And I stand by that. Okay, Maddie, solo rehearsal. We're getting this ballet instructor at this point. And Abby tells the instructor that she's really glad that she's like, makes this very weird comment that the production totally fed to her and says, I'm really glad that Melissa chose to homeschool her children so that she can take more ballet privates.
Yeah, so dumb.
Like, okay, great. And then Abby in her talking head says that some of the children just aren't dedicated enough, implying that they all need to be homeschooled.
Yeah.
And then Abby goes up into the Lido deck and she's like, what do y'all think about homeschooling your kids? Like, it's so produced and it's so pushed.
Yeah.
It's kind of driving me nuts a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
Kelly, in her talking head, says that, like, Abby makes the point that the girls would be better dancers if they were homeschooled. And she's like, that's probably true. But, like, I want them to have normal lives and not just have everything be dance.
Right.
Like, I want them to grow up to be, like, happy and healthy adults,
like,
not just
well-adjusted
dancers.
Yeah. They're on reality TV. Like, they're already going to grow up with some trauma. They need to have some sort of social interaction that's not their friends who only go to one activity together and they're on reality television.
Yep.
They need to have some sort of socialization in other forms.
I couldn't agree more. Kelly in the Lido deck says to the other moms that it's unfair that, like, Abby gets onto their kids.
Yeah.
And this is when Melissa's like, yeah, that really is unfair. And then in her talking head, she's like,
the other moms need to get over it.
I know. They're like, Abby shouldn't hold it against us that we're choosing to not homeschool our kids. And Melissa's like, yeah, period. She shouldn't. And then her talking, and she's like, these other moms fucking suck.
They need to get over it.
Slime ball.
They should.
Slime ball behavior.
I'm telling you,
yep.
Ugh,
Absolutely.
Really bothers me. We see the group rehearsal that is, again, about what?
You just said something a second ago, and my brain just caught back up to it. So
I'm moving quick.
There's a joke where a pirate walks into a doctor's office, and he's got like a steering wheel on like the front of his pants.
Sure.
And so he walks in the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, "What's the problem? Why is that steering wheel there?" And he goes, "Yar, it's driving me nuts."
Sure. Do you feel like sometimes your knuckles, like the skin on the back of your knuckles starts splitting?
What?
From like scraping the bottom of the barrel. So Got him! Got him! Wait.
You were going to make an ape joke like when like when I walk, my knuckles are
Neanderthal?
scraping. Yeah.
No. Scraping the bottom of the barrel, girl.
I'm not Neander short.
Diva, get up. Like, get off the floor. The jokes are so bad. Like, you have to step it up, dude.
That was a good one.
Neander
short.
No, it wasn't. Don't tell me that the joke that didn't make me laugh was funny. That's gaslighting.
I'm Neanderthal. and
I'm Neander short. Great.
Yes.
Funny and... No.
Honey and font.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, group rehearsal. I hate this music. It's very like what a white person thinks is a good... I mean, it's exactly what it is. A white woman heard this music and was like, yes, this sounds like the sound of struggle. This is like...
Black.
Tribal.
Yeah.
Or like, like that's the vibe. It's giving like 2014 Aztec print vibes, but musically. So distasteful. So fucking bad. And you know... Because of the way that Abby is as just like a person and who she is as an instructor, she's not collabing. She's not bringing any other perspective. She's not a person who like is deciding to tell a story that's not hers and wants someone else's input. No, she wants to tell a story that's not hers the way that she wants to tell it.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing, for real. It's just like, this is a white-forward environment. This is a predominantly white institution.
Yeah, it's a PWI.
From what we're seeing, disclaimer, this is almost a white-only institution, and you're picking this music. That's so embarrassing for you, girl.
I just explained
You don't have to do all that. You can just walk down here.
I had to explain to Addison's niece. Well, I got the opportunity to explain. No, that's not true.
What a PWI is?
No, yeah, but it was actually one of the girls that works the front desk at my gym. She was talking about like applying to colleges and stuff. She's a senior in high school, and she is a Spanish-speaking individual. And so she was talking about like during schools she might be interested in. How she was like, I don't know if I can afford some of these, blah blah. And I was like explaining what a PWI is and how like sometimes they do need to like hit quotas, or they're interested in like. There's
not anymore because they overturned affirmative action.
Well, but then there's also
so crazy.
They still want in some cases to have like at least a somewhat diverse population. Like I don't want everyone.
Good marketing.
Yeah, I don't want everyone in the school to be a 4.0 white rich person that comes in.
Man,
exactly. And so I was explaining what a PWI is to her. This was literally yesterday, actually, so it's funny you bring that term up.
I'm sure she knew what a PWI is, but like had not heard that term before.
This girl?
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good that she now knows.
Well, public education is also like totally failing.
That's true. I didn't know what a PWI was and I went to a Bible college. That was like almost totally.
Well, because
white.
PWI
so
for you was that was default.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't know what that was. You know, it's interesting. Like an earth-shattering for like my like white experience was hearing the experience of what are they called, classmates of mine in Bible college who were people of color. There were not that many of them, and during the death of, or the murder of, like, George Floyd, and during, like, no, just leave it. During the murder of George Floyd and, like, the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, I saw a bunch of students posting about their experience and being like, oh, P.S., I went to a Bible college as a black person that's almost all white, and here's what went down to my face at my Bible college.
For sure.
In the name of God.
Well,
and I was like, oh my God, like that's fucking crazy. I had no idea. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's definitely a thing that's out there that can be researched. There's actually, speaking of education, there's a book on this shelf that's called Admissions by Kendall James, and she is a woman who went to a PWI. She was the only black woman in her graduating class, and she graduated in like 2012. She's like the only black woman, and there's like maybe like two other people of color in her whole graduating class. And and then she worked in admissions for that school.
Ooh.
It's a great book, and it really explores like the stuff that she went through and her perspective. Highly recommend. I'll put a picture of the cover right here. It's very, very good.
Nice.
Okay.
Commercial.
Yes, commercial. Holly says, I hope I don't live to regret it, which I thought was funny. Like about Abby doing this dance number, and everyone's like, I hope everything's like, working. I hope you're not mad about it, whatever. And Holly says, I hope, everything's gonna be fine. And then her talking head, she says she hopes that she doesn't live to regret it.
Yep.
Okay, commercial. Back from commercial. Chloe and Christy are talking about homeschooling again. Everyone's talking about homeschooling. And this is where we get that Chloe says that she can't imagine her life without dance.
Yeah.
But she also can't imagine her life without school.
Right.
And she Christy's like, and I know that's right, period. That's my blood. That's my child.
And Chloe even says, she's like, school is like the normal part of my day.
Yeah, she says it's what keeps me normal. It's the normal part of my day.
Yeah.
Also, when did Chloe get so old? I was just like overwhelmed in that moment of like, oh, she's not like
She's like 12.
Yeah, I know, but she just like was the way that she was talking and like even her pitch and her voice. It's like, oh, this person is growing.
She's not like the cutesy little kid from like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
sure.
She's becoming a tween. And then Christy in her talking head says like, I understand that Maddie's doing the homeschooling thing, and I know that's not Maddie's decision, but Chloe's different from Maddie, and I'm going to parent her different than Melissa.
Christy also tells Chloe, you need to ignore Abby. You have a very bright future. If it's dance, great. If not, you have a lot of options. You don't need Abby to be proud of you. Your parents are, and you should be proud of yourself.
Period.
This is the Christy that I think we've been missing. We've been missing this version of Christy. We haven't gotten any chances.
She's been flying off the handle.
Yeah,
you know?
Getting drunk in the streets and blah, blah, blah. Or like starting really dumb forced fights. But like we used to see this version of Christy a lot more early on.
When she would lock in with Chloe and be like, it is you and me, pal.
Yeah, ignore the
noise. Of evil.
Yep.
Against the forces of
Abby.
Pigheadedness. I was going to say evil or something. Once again, The Incredibles always finds a way.
Yep. True.
Okay, now we're in Atlanta just for the auditions. We get a lot. I have in my notes, holy moly, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a big old montage of cuts, people like being cut to go. I see audition numbers that start with the number 4.
Yeah.
And some that start with 0. So it stands to reason that they're numbered, 1 through 400 and something. So that's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, I had a lot of notes about this, actually. Oh, shit, I just went all the way to the top.
Abby at one point says, the girl with the bad haircut, get out here.
Do you want to know what's funny? About 5 seconds before she called her out, I was watching the kids dancing. I was like, oh, that girl's really good, but my God, look at her haircut. And then 5 seconds later, Abby called her out. Hey, you with the shitty fucking haircut.
Yeah, she's like, who's your parent out here? Whose child is this?
Yeah.
And then she tells the mom of this child, like, you're limiting her opportunities by letting her look ugly, which is an insane thing to say to a child.
Yeah, you are. Her marketability is being limited.
And then Melissa's like, our daughters are all American.
Oh.
Ooh, what does that mean? Maybe. And then she's like, we don't do anything fun with our looks, basically. She's like, we don't cut or color our hair in any funky way.
That is just so wild. Then, there is another montage of Abby cutting kids if they can't do the splits. Abby tells this scene was pretty wild, actually. Abby tells one little girl, I loved you until you made some tiny little mistake. And this is what we talked about in the last open call auditions, that if you cut someone the second you see one mistake, you might be losing one of the best dancers up there. That's just the one mistake out of the 100 times that they run it. And so she says, I loved you until blah, blah, blah. And I even said, if she's already 95% perfect, imagine if you're the arrogant narcissist that you are, imagine how good she'll be when you get your hands on her.
Yeah.
So to speak. The same girl, then there's another minute of nonsense, and then Abby's down in front of the stage, and the same little girl comes up, and she's like, I promise I'll work hard and beat whomever I need to. And then
she's what did she say, 12?
No,
this girl's little.
She's 10, I think.
Yeah, she's tiny baby.
She's 10, maybe 11.
She's young enough for that comment to break your heart.
Yeah, Abby listens to her for a second, and then presumably the little girl's mom in the stands up and is like, give her a second chance.
And everyone's like, woo!
And everyone cheers, and she brings her back up on stage. But Abby in her talking head indicates I'm furious that she spoke up.
Yeah.
Which is funny because she didn't put up with that. That happened in the first audition too. Mm-hmm. And Abby was like, absolutely not. Don't you ever speak to me that way. You'll have no place on this team.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, that is embarrassing that you would ever talk back to me like that. But then Abby gives in to this mom. And I mentioned or I had the thought, what is the difference in these situations? Well, she talked shit to the first mom who was white.
Yeah.
And then she was almost afraid. She was like, oh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers because the second mom was black.
There's a shady production moment that happens later on, too.
It could be something else, but that is the difference that I noticed.
Yeah, and we're not saying that both girls should have been given an opportunity. We're saying that Abby is hypersensitive to that kind of stuff because she is racist.
Yes.
So and she was mad. She was like, get up there, stand in the back. She didn't want to do it. She was afraid of being accused of her actual moral fiber, which is racism.
Or she wasn't even thinking about that. She was just like, oh, that woman's scary.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking of placating too.
No.
Oh, people are going to be mad at me if I don't do it.
Abby doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
No, it's just that she's like, white woman, I'm not afraid of you. I'll talk shit. Oh, there's a black woman yelling. Okay,
I'm
get up. Go on, get up.
Interesting.
That's what I think.
Either way, it's racist. But
yes.
Because both girls should have been given that opportunity. Or or not. You know, they both should have been cut. You know what I mean? Like, it should have been, no, if you're cut, you're out. But, like, no, she took it back, and it just seemed odd.
Yeah, which honestly opens the door for, like, and we see, like, the very next scene, she mentions, all right, no more second chances, which means she's been giving them.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing that Abby does.
It's just suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I love that show.
That came up in my reels earlier today, actually.
Don't. Also, John Ralphio.
Don't be suspicious.
He can get it. Ben Schwartz can get it. In fact, I went on my Twitter account, my X account.
It's Twitter.
Yeah, the other day, and
Elon,
I haven't been on Twitter in years, and I was on it to look up something, and my bio still says this is a Ben Schwartz stan account,
and it'll say that way.
It will, like literally, obviously, always will, in fact, be that way.
You can add Hassan Piker's name into
Hassan
that too.
Piker, Ben Schwartz, and Justin Bieber.
And Andy Samberg.
Yeah. I love Andy Samberg. He's so cute. And he's hot.
I love the way that he talks about his wife.
I know. He's like funny. That's the thing. It's like
he and Ryan Reynolds both have very similar energies.
He looks and he's very funny. There's a clip of him talking to, I think it's Stephen Colbert, that I think about all the time, where he was talking about like, yeah, when my wife was pregnant with our kid, it was like, this is the happiest time of your life, and like bringing joy into the world is such a privilege, and blah blah blah. And then like as soon as that kid is born, everyone's like, welcome to hell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so fulfilling. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to hell. I love him. Okay, anyway.
Real quick, one of the guys in my fantasy football league just said Vanderbilt's goalpost is on Broadway right now.
Is it really?
Vanderbilt just beat Alabama, for anyone who cares at all about college football. Yeah, that's
real.
the sign of the end of days right there. Vanderbilt just beat number 1 ranked Alabama.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Okay. So yes, we're done with open calls in Atlanta. She did it in Atlanta. She's done it in Orlando, and now she's one more city. Great.
Something I noticed right at the end of the open auditions or whatever, the girl with the bad haircut,
Still up there.
Period. I know that's right. Good for her.
Yeah, that's not in her control, but she was, I recall thinking like, oh, that kid is like good. She's like up in the front. She's like performing. Her hair was just really bad. So.
Yeah. We get to the competition after we come back from the commercial. We're getting ready in the green room, and Holly and everyone really is talking about the pressure on Nia this week.
You never see Holly sweat, but she's like throughout the next
pressed.
10 minutes, she's legitimately so nervous about all this.
Mackenzie's costume, slay. The trio's costumes.
It's when Mackenzie walked out, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute!" And then the trio walks out.
Ugly.
This hush fell over the room. They're like, "Oh." They look like three chickens.
They looked awful. They looked so bad.
They're like these yellow. They look like chickens.
They looked
like the rubber chicken.
Yes. Yeah, they looked awful.
Something my algorithm did get right on Instagram is there's this line of like it looks like boot camp or whatever, and the drill sergeant is like right up behind them, but has like a rubber chicken and like slowly moves it in front of their face and lets it just go beep. And they're not allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
Whatever. Holy shit. Situations where you're not allowed to. Dude, I'm dying laughing. Absolutely dying.
Pissing myself
He brought it over. They have like hats with bills on, and he brought it. So it just slides barely into frame. I would not have been able to. I wouldn't have survived.
You would have been doing laps or push-ups or whatever.
Yeah, gladly. Still laughing.
Abby says they're talking head of the solos and the trio are like setting up the group dance, and so there's also pressure on them and blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, I think there is a little bit to that actually.
I think so too.
In that, like, judge it. What are we? No, I don't want to enable dictations here. Stop scrolling to the top.
But there really is like you're like priming the judges, and I immediately thought of like. Well, first of all, in this situation, if they see like, oh, this is a really good soloist from ALDC. Oh, here's another really good soloist from ALDC. When you get to the group, your brain's already thinking these kids are good.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're already ready to see good dancing.
Right.
I likened it to band competitions. You're not judged by how you walk onto the field.
Sure.
but it does prime the judges.
Oh, yeah.
If you're like super focused and you get on the field in a really like neat and orderly manner, the judge is already thinking, oh, we're about to see some shit. Hell yeah.
One of my favorite like blocks every season was the block where we learned how we were entering the field.
Yeah.
Because it was always like, for whatever reason, high school kids are so fucking underdeveloped and so stupid. So it's like, okay, let's everyone get to their first mark. Okay, great. Stand there. We're going to take this group of people and just collapse them to the side so that you're in like 20 different baby lines of like 6 people or whatever. And then you can all walk out, and the person at the front of the line needs to be the person who has to walk the farthest.
Yes.
So that it was always like so confusing every year.
Yeah.
And also you're standing in a line with your friends, smacking each other's butts and being annoying. And like that's also really fun.
Yeah.
But like that specific block every season of like how are we getting on the field was always like, okay, we have 10 minutes. Our band director's going to start screaming at us if we don't get this together. But also I don't understand the concept of a line. And I don't understand this idea that the person who has to walk the farthest is in the front.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Smacking butts and being annoying are two of my favorite hobbies, by the way.
So true, bestie. Mackenzie goes first. Ursula goes first. She eats. Love. Maddie goes next. She also eats. Love. The trio is next. It's very fine. I think it's very ironic that we have two numbers this week about the South. One is about a Southern Belle trio. They're all 3 white girls. And it's like very cute and very fun, and like their costumes are a bright, fun color because that's the white Southern experience, right? And then as soon as we bring in a person of color, specifically a black student, it is such a different experience. Like
Sure.
Abby is self-reporting again,
Maybe.
as someone who's just at least bare minimum tone deaf, right? Like doing a number about Southern Belles is probably not the move anyway, because Southern Belles were people who owned plantations. That's their quantifier. That's their demographic.
We're married to people that
Or
own
we're married to
plantations.
people yeah, exactly. A woman would never own a plantation.
Right.
They were married to men who owned plantations. But like, that's not fun. You're making a number about a social structure that's built on the backs of slaves in the United States.
Maybe.
Which did not happen that long ago, side note.
Yeah, I could also see that she's just telling the two sides of it, that like for white people in the South, everything was fun and hunky-dory,
Yeah.
but it was not the same.
Yeah, but
for
you
black.
shouldn't do that. You shouldn't highlight how great and hunky-dory things were for white people.
Well, it's kind of the duality of existence.
I guess it's just.
I don't think
weird
it's
that
necessarily-
that both things are coming from the same studio. It's weird.
I doubt that she went this deep into it.
Yeah, we're
fact,
thinking about this way more than she ever
I
did.
guarantee she didn't, but it almost is like kind of a comment. Like, yeah, the white people were having a fucking great time, but
Right.
this is also an experience that was happening simultaneously.
Sure.
And also needs attention called to it.
Sure.
Again, no shot Abby Lee Miller
No,
gave any
she's
of that
not
any
thinking
thought.
about any of this. No, there's no
But
way.
one could argue.
We've thought about it more during this recording process than Abby ever did.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, we're back in the green room. We're getting ready for the group.
Really, I just want to know what
Iggy thinks about it.
Iggy, your thoughts?
Can I do it?
No, you can't.
I can't.
Iggy, you have thoughts?
Not a one.
No.
She's like, I'm a baked potato.
Only sleeping. We're back in the green room. We're getting ready for the group dance. Holly is once again very stressed.
She's beside herself.
Yeah. Abby, in her talking head, says to Nia, dance like your life depends on it because it does. Abby, you're not going to kill this child. That's not true.
You don't know that.
Like, I mean, I guess not, but like, come on. And then Holly gives... I have what's supposed to say Holly gives Nia a pep talk, but for whatever reason, it auto-corrected pep to Pepe. Holly gives Nia a Pepe talk about strength, and then we go to a commercial.
Well, yeah, she tells Nia,
You have everything and more that this team needs.
Slay.
hell yeah.
Eat him up, Holly. Let him know.
Yeah, you're not just good enough. You are fucking awesome.
Yeah, period. When we come back from the commercial, it's time for the group number.
Can I comment?
Yes, go for it.
I actually watched this dance.
Yeah, I was
because
hoping
I
you would.
needed
I
to.
figured you would, yeah.
I knew that I would need to. Within the first like 15 seconds, I was like, I thought to myself, oh, Nia looks like fierce
Yeah.
in this. She looks...
Nia is letting those bitches have it.
She like felt this one, I
Yeah.
think. Which was very cool to see because like there was a chance. She's fucking 12. There's a chance that she's like, okay, it's another dance. I'm
Yeah,
the
who
black
knows?
character in it because I'm black and that's cool.
Or she gets nervous and can't even think about the character because everyone's freaking out about it, you know.
Exactly. But Nia looked fierce, was really performing. All those comments about her needing to perform more, she has really implemented.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about before. Holly is crying at the end and looks so proud, and legitimately I teared up at the end of this.
Yeah.
I for real
did.
did.
Too. It was very sweet.
Yeah, I thought the music was actually okay.
There is a weird production moment that happens after it's over.
I didn't totally notice. I was typing with a couple tears in my eyes, like typing like, oh, that was awesome.
Sure.
Holly, in her talking head, says that Abby and the girls really gave justice to this topic, and I feel free because Nia absolutely nailed it.
Sure.
I was like, hell yeah.
The production moment that's weird is that after they're done and everyone's cheering, the camera people just show like what seems like every black person in the audience. Like
I was
cut
looking
to
down.
cut to cut to cut.
Oh, that's funny.
It's very weird. Like, what's going on?
Like, no,
There
guys,
is-
it's okay. The black people said it was cool.
Yeah, like, oh, I really didn't like it. There's another mom who's black who gives Holly a hug after it's over. That's fine. Get that interaction, whatever. But they never show footage of other people in the audience applauding for those girls.
Yeah.
But they're like, to your, exactly that of like, no, it's okay. Look, we ate this up because look at all the black people responding.
So,
It's weird.
not to yet again play devil's advocate in a matter of race.
You better
but
not.
Here's the thing.
I'm scared.
Here's the thing is the girls right afterwards made a comment. They're like, the whole crowd gave
Yeah,
us a standing
that is
ovation.
true.
So they could have been just showing cuts of the audience, and it is Atlanta.
And coincident, but they're all traveling from Atlanta, girl. These girls
I-
are from Atlanta. They're from Pittsburgh.
No. Like the audience.
Yeah. Are all people who have traveled to Atlanta for this con.
I don't think so. I think a lot of them are from Atlanta.
Okay.
And so Atlanta, as you know, has a
yeah.
very large black population. And so like there is a chance they were just showing cuts of the audience, and
Sure.
a lot of them are
You know
black.
what? Sure. That could
Technically-
absolutely be, that is a
Do
possibility.
I think that that's what happened? Probably
No.
not.
But that could have been. Brandon, the PA, slide in. Let me know what happened.
Hello? The hell was that?
What the hell was what?
Did you not hear that? Something beeped. It was like bomb. Do you have an Alexa? Mm-hmm. I think she made a noise.
Oh.
That was weird.
I was going to say, I turned off my dryer. Sometimes my dryer goes beep when
No, it was a
shuts
deeper.
off.
A deeper.
Oh, did it go bum bum?
I thought it was a downwards thing, but yes.
Well, no, because I didn't get a notification. You're imagining things.
I
Okay, time for the awards. Mackenzie gets second, which I thought was kind of
Fine.
a bummer. I thought she was cute, but whatever.
Well, she also was singing or lip syncing rather some of the words
Yeah.
with the microphone not next
I
to her
know,
face.
I did see that.
She
I
was
was like,
performing her little heart out,
I
but
know.
you got to get the mic up,
Come
sweetie.
on, girl. Yeah. The trio gets first, but no one really seems that thrilled about it.
I think they all know it wasn't like their best run.
Also,
Abby says that actually.
another weird moment is that when they get up, when Kendall gets up to get the award, or when they say like first place, they show the moms are all applauding. You can see Jill look at Kendall and she says, "Get up, get up." And then Kendall goes to get the award. Kendall walks up to the person, gets the award, and sits down. Every other time that anyone's been given an
they
award,
stand.
I don't think there's anybody else in this category.
Oh, maybe not.
I think they got first by default, which is why no one was excited and why
Maybe.
there was no one there to line them up.
There's definitely that possibility.
That's just my conspiracy theory. Let's see. Maddie gets first.
Duh.
Maddie is very happy. Melissa says when Maddie is very happy, and when Maddie's happy, I'm happy. Fuck Mackenzie, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
She's like, Maddie is so talented, and when she's happy, I have another child that I don't care about. That could also be the next sentence that Melissa says.
Yeah.
Whatever. The group gets first. Slay. Holly's tearing up. It's very sweet. If Nia's not on the top of that goddamn pyramid next week, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so... That's actually going to bother me.
Yes, I agree.
Legitimately bother me.
I like that Nia got to accept the award. Holly in her, obviously, but Holly in her talking head says it's not just a win for the group. It is a win just for Nia.
Slay. Yes.
Abby in her talking head says it was a beautiful tribute
And all eyes were on Nia.
True.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Love.
I know I'm so confident this isn't going to happen, but like I want so badly for like Nia to just be like kind of a late bloomer in terms of talent, and her hard work just totally pays off and she ends up being like the top fucking dog. I know it's not going to happen, but like I want that so badly.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's gonna happen, I bet, because again, I know nothing about this, and nor do I want to, so don't write in and spoil shit. But what I think is going to happen, is like in the next, I don't know, season or so, Abby's going to do something crazy, and Holly's going to be, you know what, it's a little too much for us. We're going to back out. Nia turns out is like a great softball player or some shit, and she's going to go pursue that, or she joins like the Key Club or whatever.
Sure. We do lose an OG member this season that they walk and they never come back. So.
I wouldn't be surprised if we lose a couple.
Yeah. Also, yeah. We're back in the green room. Abby tells Mackenzie, your performance wasn't good. And then she tells Maddie that she needs someone on her team who will push her. Push her to do what, bitch? She's winning all the time. She's winning. She's slaying. She's homeschooled.
She works hard.
She has sold her soul to you. Push her to do what?
She is checking
every box. Every box. I will note that Abby told Mackenzie, she gave her specific feedback. She says, you're a little too far to the right, but then says, maybe you should go back to school if this dance thing is just going to be a fun after-school thing for you to do.
This is a child.
Yeah.
This is a child.
She's 9.
That's a child, actually. That's a kid child.
Mackenzie's like, cool, just going to file that one away to talk to my therapist about in 20 years.
God.
Yeah.
She also says that Abby says that something is a huge undertaking.
Ugh.
I hate that.
I do too.
I hate when she says huge.
Abby says what you said, that Maddie needs someone that'll rival and push her. And she's like, what do you think, Maddie? And Maddie's like,
okay.
Yeah. But it's so clear she's just telling Abby exactly what she wants to hear.
Because Maddie's a kid. Because they're all kids.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you want that, Maddie? And she's like,
I guess.
Yeah.
I heard you say that if Nia fucked up, you were going to shoot her later. She said dance like your life depends on it. So, I'll do whatever you want, I guess.
And frankly, for a while, she used to...
Chloe used to be that one. It used to be the two of them going head to head.
Yeah, she says that at one point. We need a new Chloe. It used to be Chloe, blah, blah, blah. And the next audition stop is New York City, bitch.
Ugh.
And that's it. This episode, outside of the, cracking ice of... the civil rights dance was kind of boring. There were no fights.
Yeah.
There were no explosions.
Frankly, I enjoyed watching this episode especially because the fact that the group got to win, the fact that Nia, oh my God, I'm getting choked up right now, but the fact that Nia fucking crushed it, that really got me.
It did. I love that.
I love that for you.
I don't have a song. Hold on.
I have a song.
Okay, well, I'm going to...
my song of the week is the song Good Graces by Sabrina Carpenter. That song is so fucking fun. And
how fun.
Sabrina Carpenter is also really good at doing, her lyrics. I don't know if she writes them. It doesn't matter. The lyrics that she sings are really clever. And she's got a lot of, fun, double entendre stuff. Oh, have you heard... There's a song, Eli Elizabeth Farmer. There's a song by Sabrina Carpenter that you would giggle and kick your feet at if you were to listen to it. It is the song Bed Kim. You have to listen. Bed Kim, Chem.
Chem. Already, yeah.
There is a blurb in that song that says, I think we'd have really good, and then she says, come right on me. I mean camaraderie. Said you're not in my time zone, but you want to be. Where art thou? Why not uponeth me? See it in my mind, let's fulfill the prophecy. She is that girl. She has really fun lyrics that are giggly. She has a lyric in her song Slim Pickens, which is about how you can't find a man these days, which is so true, bestie. And she says, this boy doesn't even know the difference between there, and they are, and yet he's naked in my room. I'm like, girl, if that ain't the ever lovin', it's always the idiots. Anyway, the song Good Graces is really fun because it's almost like a dance song.
That's the one that you're...
Yes, that's the one I want on the playlist. The switch up of because no one's more amazing at turning love into hatred, which is like she says, "Boy, it's not that complicated. You should stay in my good graces." Period. It's like a fun little dance song.
My song, Addison, this one's for you. My song is Closing Time by Semisonic.
Closing time. You know they play that at Disc Insider when they close every night.
Dix Insider.
So annoying. It's so annoying because I used to hang out with my friends there every other Thursday. And as soon as we would hear that song, we would know we were about to get kicked out. And then as soon as that song is off, they do the worst thing that a bar in Nashville could possibly do. Turn on all the lights.
That's what all bars do.
I know. It's brutal. And they would do it. Closing time would be gone. Boom. All the lights on.
Yep.
And you're stumbling out.
Turn
like,
all of
like
the
this.
lights on. Finish your whiskey or beer. So when we were in Miami... That song was stuck in all of our, like mine and Addison's heads. And she got really good at like whatever was happening, she would remix that song to be...
It just slip into Closing Time?
Well, no, but she would just redo the lyrics of it.
That's awesome.
Like we'd say, like, "Oh, there's our car," and she'd go, "There's our car."
That's amazing.
But then do the rest of the line with words about whatever was happening. She crushed it.
Yeah.
It was like
Woman in STEM.
I was really impressed
Woman
by
in
it.
STEAM, actually, because the A includes the arts.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I was really impressed by it. And it's funny because my idiot middle brother Sam does that with any song, but he always remixes the lyrics to be about dick and balls.
Of course he does.
Every single time. He's really good at it too.
Dude, I had a higher up at my job make a dick joke on site to other people who were there, and it was the same way as I was making a D's Nuts joke, where like as he was saying it, he was regretting it, and then after he said it, he was like, "I'm sorry," but he's like in his like late 50s. He just like had to say it.
Yeah, it was set
so
up too
funny.
perfectly, and
Yeah,
he was just
someone
like,
was talking about we were doing a thing and one of the things has size options, and so he was asking a guy like, "Can you hand me the little one?" And then this guy at my office was like, "You have a little one? I'm sorry." He's like, I just like really couldn't avoid saying that. Like I had to get it out. Like that's fair.
Honestly, shout out to that guy.
Shout out to that guy. Yeah, I guess that's it, dude.
Share this podcast with a friend.
Share this podcast with someone you love.
Or someone you hate.
Or share this podcast like your life depends on it, because it does.
Share this like your life depends on it.
Send us an email if we miss something, please. Please don't fucking bully us in the comments. That's so embarrassing that people are still doing that.
Yeah, let's just like be helpful.
Solution oriented.
Let's be helpful.
Let's be productive.
Let's be
helpful.
Friendly and helpful.
If we miss something because we watched a fuck ass choreographer's cut, send it to us in the email.
Yeah,
our email is thepyramidpodcast@gmail.com. Read the book Admissions by Kendra James, not Kendall. Kendra James. It's
My Little
great.
Kendra.
My Little Kendra, yeah. Yeah.
That is it.
The snort from the piggy.
That's the end of the podcast. So let's turn it off and go drink.
Yes. I'm so excited. Where are we going? We'll talk about that off camera.
Fun fact,
don't
Amanda
wanna
and I
talk
are
to
about to
ourselves.
go drink together.
Woo! I'm so excited. We haven't actually
Hung out
in like months.
a long time.
In like a long ass time.
Ass time.
Ass time. So.
Favorite time of day.
Pastime, ass time, or whatever. There's a joke in there somewhere. Okay.
In
Thank
your
you so much
ass?
for listening. Good night, Alyssa.
Good night, Alyssa.
Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye!